Welcome back to the mathmagician.uk. This is the first lesson in our series on addition. Don't skip this lesson because you'll need the skills to answer the harder questions later in the series. The first lessons will be on using manipulatives, which, as you saw in a previous video, are small tiles we can use to see questions as pictures. I've added a link to the manipulatives video in case you want to watch it. Don't forget, the tiles are just a teaching tool and you don't have to use them in the exam, but you can if you want. Let's go to the classroom and I'll show you the types of questions you'll be able to answer at the end of today's lesson and at the end of the following lesson. So we're going to be starting the lesson with the end in mind. That means that we'll look at the questions that we'll be able to answer at the end of the lesson. This is one and this is another. And at the end of the second lesson, we'll be able to answer a problem like this. So here's our first question. What you can see is 4 plus 5, which you may be able to already answer, but let's look at how we do it with manipulatives. We get 4 tiles and 5 tiles and then we add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer would be 9. Right, if you find it too easy, wait for the next question. Here's the algebra version. We've got 2 x's. 1, 2. Remember, x's are rectangles. And we've got 3 x's. 1, 2, 3. So how many x's have we got altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer to this question will be 5x. Hopefully you're keeping up. This slide is where students start to struggle because it's got negative numbers in it, and negative numbers are always done badly in the real exam. So let's see where people go wrong. We start off with a positive 2. So I'll bring on 2, what colour? Blue tiles. But now we're going to add on a negative 4. So what colour tiles are we going to bring on? Well, we're going to add on a negative 4, so we're going to bring on red tiles. So here's 4 red tiles. This is an interesting concept because when we add a positive and a negative 1 together, they cancel each other out and we end up having nothing. So we've got a positive 1 here, which cancels out a negative 1 there, a positive 1 here, which cancels out a negative 1 there, and then that leaves us with a negative 2. So the answer to 2 add minus 4 is negative 2. So how are you getting on? Let's try some algebra. So we've got 2 x's. So what are we going to bring on? We're going to bring on 2 blue x's. We're going to add on negative 5x. So is that going to be blue or red? Well, we're going to add on the negative 5x's. So we're going to bring on 5 red x's. So the x's cancel out in the same way as the 1's did. So an x and a negative x equals nothing. So what we can do here is we can cancel one of the blue x's with one of the red ones, one of the blue ones with one of the red ones, and we're left with 3 red ones. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is negative 3x. Did you get that? Right, here's another question. By now you should have enough information to pause the video and have a go on your own, and then you can restart it to see what the answer is. Right, so let's have a go at this one. We've got negative 5, so we've started off with a negative this time. So we've got negative 5, and we're going to add on 3, which is a positive 3 because it doesn't have a negative sign. So what do we do next? Right, so we need to cancel 3 of the reds with 3 of the blues. That leaves us with 2 reds. So what's the answer mean? Well, that answer will be red is negative 2. Did you get that? Let's keep on going. Hopefully you can see by now there isn't much difference between number and algebra. Let's look at negative 2x plus 4x. So let's show negative 2x. What are they going to look like? They're going to be 2 red rectangles. And we're going to add on 4x. What colour will they be? Well, they're a positive 4x. So we're going to bring 4 blue ones on. What can we do here? Well, if we've got 2 red ones and 4 blue ones, we should be able to cancel 2 of each out. And that will leave us with 2 blue ones. So what will that answer be? 2 blue ones. It's going to give me a positive 2x, which is exactly the same as just 2x on its own. Did you get that? How did you do? Remember that hard work and determination equals success. Take a second to look at the next question because it's a little bit more tricky than the ones we've been doing so far. Right, this is a particularly difficult one, so I really want you to take a second to pause the lesson and see what you would get. Okay, as I said, this is badly answered in the GCSE exams. It's not a minus and a minus makes a plus, which is what most people write down. So let's look at it as pictures and explain why it's not that. We've got negative 7. So let's bring on, well, what are we going to bring on? We're going to bring on 7 reds. And then we've got add on a negative 2. Well, which are we going to do? We're going to add, so we're going to do positive or negative. Well, we're going to deal with a negative 2. So I'm going to bring on a negative 2. And then I'm going to add them together. So I've got no cancelling out this time. I've got, because there's no blues to cancel. Altogether, I've got 7, 8, 9. So I've got negative 9 as my answer. So most people would write down positive 9. Let's have a look at the algebra version. Right, so with the algebra one, we've got negative 10x. So we need to pull on 10 red ones. Now you could just draw these on the paper if you wanted to. You could just draw little boxes. They don't have to be perfect. And we're going to add on a negative 3x in algebra. So we need 3 red ones. We're adding them together. So all we need to do is add them all up. We've got 10 of them. 11, 12, 13. They're red. So we've got negative 13x. Does that make any sense? Right, if you've lasted this long, you've done really, really well. Here's our last question. This is to test everything that we've done so far, and it's one of the questions I showed you at the beginning of the lesson. The question says simplify 2x plus 3 plus 5x plus 7 plus negative x plus negative 4 plus 3x. That's a long question. Let's break it down in pictures. We've got 2 x's. 1, 2. And then we've got 3, not 3 x's, just 3. 1, 2, 3. We've got 5 x's. Did in this way, say this time to make a difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to tidy them up in a minute. 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we've got to add on a negative x. What are we going to do there? Well, we're going to bring on a red one. Negative 4, but it's not negative 4x, so we're going to bring on red 4 ones, and then we bring on 3 blue ones, which I'll magically done. Right, okay, so as I say, it doesn't matter which way around we do them. And now we can just add up things that are the same. And that's what the teacher will have told you in school. Add up like terms, collecting like terms. So we're going to start off by adding on a 2 x's. So we've got 1, 2 x's, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 x's, 8, 9, 10 x's in total. But then we've got this red x, which is negative x. So that will cancel out one of my blue ones. So now I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 x's. Same with me reds and my blue ones. I've got 4 red ones, so I can cross out 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all gone. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left over. 6, and they're ones, not x's. So we've got all of that is simplified to 9x plus 6. Did you get that? Okay, we're done. So hopefully you've understood. The pictures made the questions a little bit easier to see. As I said, you won't necessarily use them in the exam. It's if you're struggling with the topic. Even if you're not struggling with the topic, some of the questions that I do later on in the course will be easier by using this method. So in the lesson today, we did lesson 1 of addition. We learned about adding positive and negative numbers, adding positive and negative algebra values, and simplification of algebraic terms. In the next video, we'll be looking at addition, but this time with perimeter, using algebra and using numbers. And most people struggle with these in the real exam. We'll also look at shape properties. Thanks for watching. Follow and subscribe to get more videos on topics you struggle with. Leave a message in the comments and visit themathemagician.uk. See you again soon.